one of the greatest strengths of UEFN is its ability to do some fairly unique things pretty simply. I'm going to do a little series of videos that covers each of the maps I've made, and I've worked very hard to make unique maps where I hadn't seen what I was building in previous sort of iterations of FPS combat or shooter combat, just in general. So this is the first of that series, and it is about a map called Destruction Crew. Now, Destruction Crew is a map that was inspired by Rampage, which was a game that I played when I was a kid, where you are a monkey, or you run around and you beat stuff up and you get points, basically. You tear down the city. Now, okay, I didn't change players into giant monkeys and a werewolf and a lizard to tear down the city. That you could do, but I didn't. I instead just gave people tanks in the cities so that you could build something new. I gave them a nice little hamlet. You know, it's a fun game. Hey, look at that. So, here we are. So this map is really simple. I mean, I threw it together in a couple days. Uh-oh. Here we go. Moving too fast. All right, I threw it together in a couple days. And the idea is that you have two teams, and these teams both compete to destroy as many objects in the map as possible. And this is, this is reminiscent of the game that I played as a kid called Rampage. And so here we get a bunch of tanks. Everybody loves driving tanks. And spawn points, and then the way you hook it up is actually pretty cool in its own way. In that there is, let's see, creative devices. So there's one device in this whole map, and it is called the destruction score device that I've coded. Okay, this map is very simple in comparison to most of the maps I've made, but there's just this one map, and what it does is it subscribes to prop destroy of every element that's in this prop manipulator device array, and on destroy it calls the function process destroy prop, which activates the score device. That's it. It just gives you points for destroying a prop. And then I put the score devices under the map here, somewhere. Alright, well, let's find them. Destruction score device, right here. Here's this little, this little island has all the user created devices and devices I need. Now, I tried to use some functionality that's built into the prop manipulators to have an override, but that didn't work at all. Sometimes stuff in UEFN doesn't work yet, has little bugs. And there's a priority on prop manipulators to say which prop manipulator has priority over the other prop manipulators, because you can use prop manipulators for areas, which I'm going to show you in a second here. So anyway, we've got this prop manipulator device array, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, should be 5, but it's 29 because I tried to do the objects to protect. But yeah, so here we go. We've got our prop manipulators, and if you look at the prop manipulators, they are placed. Where are the prop manipulators placed? Let's look for one. Go over here, prop manipulator here. And it's a little under the map. Where are you? Yeah, prop manipulator here. So I can see it from over here. And as you can see, all the prop manipulators in this map are set up with boxes. So you've got a You've got an area, affect all objects in zone, 50 by 50, zone height of 8. That's in meters, so it's a big area. Each prop manipulator has a big area attached to it, and you can see these big purple boxes that represent the area that that prop manipulator is modifying all the props inside of it. And so we've got one selected. The prop manipulator itself is right here. And at map load up, it's going to look at all these props. It's going to say, okay, great, I'm going to subscribe to the destroy event for each prop in this box. And it comes out to, because I just dragged a bunch of prefabs in, a few thousand props. And then, you know, I set up a team score device. Let's see here. Oh, my island settings. So in my island settings, which is right here, you have a total rounds. The rounds don't work. So when you have a large number of prop manipulators or a large number of props that are spawned, like when you have complex startup routines in a UEFN map, you can set the rounds to whatever you like, but the server will just crash. I've got 2 or 3 maps that do complex stuff, and as a result of doing complex stuff, there's just 1 round. And if you try and have it do 2 rounds or 3 rounds, it just doesn't work. And then 12,001, that's the number of points you need to eat. That's about half. So I've got it set up so that this score manager gives 10 points per prop destroyed, or per object destroyed, and there are apparently about 4,800 props in the map. They're nothing special. They're all free fabs that I was like, well, let's make a castle, and stuff everything into this thing. But more important, I don't really care about the map. This is not a map that I was like, hey, this is the best map ever. I was like, hey, let's see if I can make a demo for this specific functionality and see if it's fun. And it's kind of fun. There are definitely people that just play it to play it and enjoy blowing up the stuff. But it's not very sticky. People don't play it day after day and love it and play it day after day, which is not what you have to aim for to monetize. And it's a fun game, but it's an arcade game. It's a little like, hey, we're just gonna play Rampage for 10 minutes while we're waiting for doing something else or waiting for somebody, and they blow up all the buildings and call it good. I find it a lot of fun because you can play around when you actually go into the game, and you can knock out the bottoms of buildings and the rest of the thing just falls down, because that's the way that the whole thing is set up. And that's one of the reasons that you would, if you weren't going to use prefabs, you would want to really figure out how the structural support code and stuff worked under the hood of UEFN. You'd really want to build prefabs that had their structural integrity set up well. And the fact of it is that I didn't think that this would be a game that people really want to play for a long time. I just thought, hey, I'm going to throw this together and see if it's cool. And it is kind of cool for a little while, but it's not addictive. It's not sticky. Yeah. So anyway, so that's my little spiel about how this map is built. You've got your standard, load in, grab a tank. I did try to there are many tutorials out there about how to load people automatically into a vehicle, and make sure they're in a vehicle permanently. They are very difficult to work with when you've got this much load up in the front of the map. So this may have been fixed, But as of the last time I tried loading all this stuff up and putting an automatic vehicle load in, it just didn't work. It worked because at the beginning, when this map, when I first published this map, it would crash the server and the tanks wouldn't always spawn, and there were just all sorts of strange buggy issues. And I'm sure that the server administrators at Epic Games really loved that I was doing what I'm doing here, where this loop right here, there's no other way to do this. This loop right here that does 4 current element in prop manipulator device array. So there's no other way that I could think of and work with that you could do this subscription and figure out a way to award points to people with that. And in fact, if you don't, you will notice that I've got one, two, three, four, five, six. I've got. Well, I had it. I know. If I really wanted to know, I would know. Let's close out this. This buildings folder. The whole thing isn't useful right now. If I really wanted to know, I would know. Here it is. The score manager pause. Here it is. Here's my device. So I've got 5 prop manipulators, and they, because they're set up as areas, they handle all the stuff inside of them, and the original load up of the map requires all of this for loop to be run. And when I had it all on one prop manipulator, the whole thing just crashed. And I had to take it apart and put it into several. I probably could put this into a threads. I could definitely thread this. I do thread it. I spawn this. Right. So you aren't supposed to multi-thread here. Okay? You're not supposed to be able to multi-thread in loops at all in UEFN, but I do. The only way to do it really is to run the spawn and spawn something for each one. And that's just the way it is. So I run this spawn, and I do it all over my code. The multi-threading in UEFN is really robust and designed for people to be doing complex tasks, but because I often want to do something many, many, many times, I end up using the spawn function to do them, so that I can get my hands on a process when I'm in a loop, and that's not something that UEFN is supposed to do. Spawn is the last resort in theory for running a process. So anyway, this is a different format from my normal videos in that it's kind of hazy, okay, here's what I've done. But it comes with code, and it doesn't take me an hour per minute of video. So if you like it, great. And if you don't, let me know. I'll put the map code so anybody that wants to look at it can look at it. But honestly, I don't think I'm. This map has been out there for 6 months and it hasn't gone wild. So it's not like this is advertising. This is just me telling you, here's how I did this. Good luck if you want to play it, or you want to build something like it. Yeah. Anyway, I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.